Hello everybody, it's Diecast, and this is my video on my collection. The latest, what would you call it? Hobbyist collector's dare, I guess, came out. That was my five favorite cars, and as part of that, they wanted to know about our collection, how many cars were in our collection. And I figured I'd do a separate video on it so that it didn't take forever. So the video before this, I think, was the my favorite 5 cars that me and Andrew did that we were challenged to do. But in this video, I said I would talk a little bit more about my collection. I thought I'd start here with this little custom just so we could kind of pull back and you could see a little bit behind the scenes. We've done some filming like this before here at the International MrLEDiecast headquarters. But things have changed a little bit, and I don't know how many cars I have in my collection, but I figured I'd just show you the collection, and then you guys can comment. So I'm going to unplug the camera here, and we're going to unscrew the camera. Sorry for the shaking. By the way, that custom is the newest one we did. I just figured it'd be a good one. Let me get the camera stuck here. So we're going to zoom back, and what you're going to see, there is our light rig, and I'll kind of zoom back out here so you can see it's a big diffuser screen around it. There's my tripods up on top of it, but it's a big diffuser screen. It's probably about 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet, something like that. And the inside of it, that part you see, is just a tiny spot. This is a little piece of plastic here that makes the reflection that, if I keep scratch free, looks really good. Most of the time it's got scratches on it. And then you can see I just kind of use it for storage around the edges there. It's just all kind of cobbled together, so that whole stand there is just sitting on top of some boxes that I adjust. Those boxes are weighted so that they don't shake, but it's really pretty slapped together. I have a couple tripods that I use. That's the shorter one. It's also the cheaper one. And those guys up there are the ones we use for the racing videos. But we've also got a number of lights. Yeah, it's real professional digs we've got here. Over here is the green screen. And these are the other types of shoots that we do out here in the studio. And I don't know if you've ever seen the actual green screen. That's a green screen cloth behind it. That cloth is meant to absorb the light so it doesn't bounce the light back and you don't get a sheen. Right now it's got a big wrinkle down the middle of it, but we would fix that before shooting. And it's a fairly large cloth, so I can use that on really large surfaces. Right now it's all folded up. But and then this would be the green screen that you guys usually see, would be something like that. And the trick to the green screen, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but there aren't a lot of green cars on the green screen videos. Usually these are the Lucy videos now, but in the older videos we didn't really name them anything. We just would have fun. But here's the trick. So if this dude was green, let's say, and he is, say, right below that line, because that's where I crop it, that bottom line right there of the fence, then he stays green. You'll see a green cast on him. That's the giveaway that it's a green screen. And this part below will be cropped out. Everything above that line, so like right there, he's fine. But if he goes above that line and he's green, then he'll turn gray because it'll strip the green out. And that's the background. So there's actually 2 videos running at once. Anyways, if anybody's interested in that, let me know. It's easy to set up. I basically just set up a template and then I can run with it. Down below is our little inspiration board. There's letters from folks that I've gotten there. There's also whatever the newest customs I'm trying to work on posted there. Sometimes I use real cars as reference, sometimes not. There's also other green screen backdrops there that we use every once in a while, but not very often. Then over here, that is the collection. And I'll zoom out. Now that is part of the collection. That's why I'm doing this video, is because I wanted to show you the whole collection. But that's part of it. And each of those boxes, they go down below too. Each of those boxes filled with Hot Wheels. Some are blisters, some not. And if I zoom in here, you'll kind of see they are actually labeled. So like there's the classics over there. We've got, those are all 2013s. Those are going to be put up on a wall soon. I collected every car from 2013, 2012. You'll see the 2012 collection here in a little bit. But then everything else is labeled. So those are all the giveaway cars up there. Those are the trash super fast cars up there that we use for restorations when they come around. Also, you'll notice everything's labeled with people's names on it or scribbled in different colors. So say this one. And that's so I can keep track of which boxes I've searched for which people I buy for. So like Moods, Ryan, Juan, etc. Those guys I buy for, and those boxes have been searched for them, so I know who I've looked through those boxes for to sell cars to. So if that's something you're interested in, I've talked about it before, but that's one of the things I do here to pay for the hobby is sell cars to guys overseas. For instance, here's the 2013-14 treasure hunts. We give a lot of those away. You saw that giveaway box up there. These cars there are for my customs, so those are some of my favorite custom cars, and so I just buy those when I see them and throw them into that box. So zoom out here a little bit. The cars themselves, these are the 2015, or one of the boxes for 2015. So these are all newer cars, but this is how I store them for the most part. I've got a space issue here. You'll see when we go upstairs, and so I try to keep the whole hobby out of the way of the family for the most part, so it doesn't clutter up the house. That's part of the deal. But I do take the newer cars off the cards, and this is how I store them, and I think I've had a video on this before, but I store them in these 2mm plastic bags so they don't get scratched, and then I cut off the bottom of the card and throw it underneath the car. You can't throw it on top or it'll scratch the top. But if you throw it underneath the car, then I'll always know what that car is. So even though the cars are mostly labeled, some aren't. And when I'm doing the videos, it gets very frustrating when I have to go figure out what a car is called, or when it comes to alphabetizing them, and you'll see that upstairs. This makes it a lot easier. So not everything I have is done this way, but anything newer is done that way. And this whole box is just filled with cars. So you can see they go way down there. Some of them are still on cards. The more valuable ones I'll keep on cards, but for the most part those either get sold or they'll be taken out of the cards eventually. Down below there is the old mystery box. If you remember that, it happens to be sitting here because it was getting too heavy. So we're going to put that one at the bottom of the rack here, but that's where Andrew gets most of his cars. So there it is. That's the old mystery box. All right, so over around the side here, this is part of the workshop. It looks really messy. It's actually set up properly. It's just I've got a ton of stuff down here for videos. These are bags of cars I'm doing for the old Lucy videos. And so each of these bags has 25 cars in it. Well, each of these bags has 3 bags in it, and each bag has 25 cars in it. So there's 75 cars per large bag. But these will be the cars that are in Lucy videos. So, for instance, all these guys will go in their own Lucy video. And they're sitting here getting ready to get set up for that green screen that you just saw, which is right across the way. So what happens is I'm on the green screen there, and I move over here. I have all my cars usually set up on this desk right here, which has a little bit of junk on it right now. I grab them, and then they get flipped over here. So that's what's happening in between those cars in the Lucy video. Over here, a few more cars for the Lucy show. These are getting organized, and they'll be organized. Over here, this is all my diorama stuff. There's also some diorama stuff on the other side of that little wall there for storage. But this is the more common stuff that I use. So everything from grass to little weeds to who knows what's in there. A lot of rocks. We have a lot of little gravel and rocks and stuff that we use. And that's for the diorama. Most of this stuff over here is for the diorama setups. And we've got some glitter and the silver bullet stuff, which I use in my customs quite a bit. It's like a metal flake type finish is what I use it for. It's actually a resin, but I use it for metal flake. You can see some other stuff there for customs. And if we go around the side here, this is the big old MrLEDiecast custom studio. We've recently retrofitted it, so if you saw that last video I did about a year ago, we've made everything out of this PVC piping, but it was starting to weaken over time because over the last year I've added a bunch of weight to it. So we've recently gone in, and even though the design is all the same, I reinforced everything with wood, so that's what you're seeing there. So all of this was retrofitted, and now it's perfectly solid. This thing's real solid. But if we go around the side, there is the studio, and not a lot's changed from the last time. The setup's kind of the same, but those are my tools. And over here, lots of parts of stuff that we're working on. There is Peter Kong's new custom. That was his favorite car. Remember, we just finished that about 2 weeks ago. And Peter, your cars are on the way. I've got 3 of them done, which is what we said we would do, and they will be to you soon. I haven't forgotten. That's the newest lineup of parts and pieces down there that we're going to either chop up or paint or something. My Dremel, probably the most used tool in the whole thing, is that Dremel, that pink screwdriver right there. Probably the most used tool in the deal. Dremel I use quite a bit, and the scissors. So that's probably about what I use most. There's my tape, you know, parts and pieces. But I know you guys love to watch them. Here's all the donors and parts. All these supposedly have some sort of plan for them up there. And we're either going to repaint them or we're going to take the wheels off or something. We've also got a ton more wheels. These are all the wheels we've taken off recently of cars. And what happens is the cars that we rip the wheels off go over here. Andrew goes over here, he picks out new wheels, he puts the cars back together, and he gets to keep anything over there. So he can wheel swap like a madman. But all these wheels in here, these are plastic wheels of various types. And then these are our rubber wheels. So all of these are rubber wheels we've already taken off. Now these would need axles, which is my least favorite way of doing it, but we do that. So all those need axles. And then we've got some wheels lined up over here. They usually end up over here when we're ready to go with them, but they'll come off those cars there eventually, most of those. There's also some Boulevard and Jada cars over there in storage that I pull from quite a bit. So over here, that is our painting station, and fairly new. We used to paint outside, now it's a painting station. In the back there, there's an exhaust, and that will go out the garage door over here on the side. So right over there, it pops out underneath it and shoots out around the side of the house. But that big weird vent thing in the back, that is just regular air condition filtering. And so I just chop it up and put it in front of the filter that came with this setup just to protect that filter a little bit better. So I'll swap that out every 3-4 times that we paint. Right now it's getting pretty full of paint, so it's on its last legs. Here's my little makeshift Lazy Susan. So those 3 holes fit my different peg sizes up here, and we put them in there, and that's how we paint. So that whole thing will turn on. My paints are over there, at least some of them. We got a lot of paints, but those are the last ones that I was using. And then I'll give you a quick zoom across all the dangerous chemicals that we spray on our customs. We all have a pile of dangerous chemicals ready to go. So I'm going to now walk you upstairs. We come around in here. Here's another part of the collection. So those are all the 2012 cars. I don't think I've ever shown these before. I have every one that came out, all the different color variations and the wheel variations. I collected one by one. Not sure why I did that. I did that for 2012 and 2013, but you can see they are all there. Those are the Walmart Hot Wheels window shield cars. Remember they put Hot Wheels in the windows? Remember it said Hot Wheels right there in the windows of them. Treasure hunts are over here. The supers are not up here. They are stored in a different place. Not much of a man room. Over here, these cars are sort of being sorted, I guess you'd call it. There's some more up here. So each of these bags has somewhere between 25, 50 cars in it. These are from the Lucy shows. And what happens is these are waiting to figure out if anyone's buying them. And so these cars all up here are right now in the, they are in the drop boxes for the guys that I buy for. So that's why they're sitting here. And this is kind of normal around here. We never really get everything in its spot, but you can see lots of cars in there. So tons of cars. And then if these get sold, they would, so let's say Juan wants this car. Well, Juan wouldn't want that car, but let's say Juan wants that car. This car would then come out of this bag, it would go in his box, and then it would get shipped off about every 2 months. So these bags are waiting for me to pull the images out of the drop boxes, and then they'll get organized. These bags down here, these two are waiting for the videos to be done, because when I edit the videos, I have to go through the cars that I put in the video, and I need to get the information off the cards or the car itself. Those cars back there, same thing. They're waiting for the videos to be done. Then over here, even though this is really dark, that is probably the largest collection of clump of cars that we've got. And those are simply waiting to be moved to the other room, which you'll see in a second, to be alphabetized. So everything that goes through the videos gets dumped in that bin eventually, and then that bin is going to go get alphabetized. So next, we're back. So a lot of cars I get are in this shape. So they're in boxes. These are unsorted cars. So basically I took these out of the lots when I bought them. I've separated out the cars that I think guys want to buy and either already sold those or they're sitting in those bags back behind here waiting to go in their boxes. But these are all cars that are just kind of waiting for a decision. So either they'll go into a video, or they'll just get sorted and go into my collection, or they'll go into different boxes, or they could even get donated. Now everything in this box is in real good shape, so we'll probably keep it. The box below it, those are the cars that aren't in as good a shape, and these might just get donated to the local school or preschool or church school or something. Tables where I do a lot of the cuttings for the masks, and you can't tell, but there's a huge mat cutter back there. It's about a 6-foot mat cutter. I used to do framing, so that's where a lot of the mask materials come from. And this table basically swings out over all this stuff, so when I cut masks, I can cut down the masks real quick that way. It looks real messy right now, but trust me, it actually works. Some more mask stuff back there. There's our vinyl. Follow the track down around the hall. This is Andrew's toy room. There's his toys over there. But this is where all the cars end up eventually that get alphabetized. And right now, those are fairly empty because we just moved them from this room from my office. So about 3/4 of the cars are missing there. This is where all the cars go to get sorted. And usually when Andrew's playing in here, I'll come up and sort cars. So I'll just play in here with him while we sort cars. Those are his 5 favorites up there. I just noticed that. You probably saw those in the last video. So over here, this is what we just recently installed. There's nothing here except for Andrew's stuff, which is, you can tell, Andrew's really big into making his own stuff. There's his different contraptions he's made. But this is going to also be the alphabetized stuff, because you can see some of those drawers are starting to fill up and they're going to overflow over here. So eventually we'll end up over here. By the way, Andrew's cars are down here. Those are his cars. And I'll pull this out so you can see it. Those are just part of his cars. They aren't quite organized. He knows where everything is. Those cars over there are his, and then he has about this many more in the garage that he decided he wanted to store. So Andrew's got quite a few cars. Down the dark hall and into the room, into the computer room here. The brains of the organization, and I bet the lighting in here is just going to be horrible. Let me fix the lighting here. There we go. So those cars on the wall, these are basically my cars that aren't for sale, that I just really like for no other reason than I just really like them. Here, I'll give you a close-up. I just really like these. For the most part, I like the graphics on them. They're mostly not worth anything. They really aren't worth anything. But those are the ones I've picked over the years to hang here in my office. Now these get swapped out a lot. So what is my favorite one day becomes not my favorite the next day. Anyway, it goes all the way over there. Blue cards up on top. And then here's our computer. That's where we do our editing. And then over here, those are the super fast cars that you guys have heard so much about. And they're in plastic right now, so it won't show off. Not all of them are super fast, but those are, that's really what I like to collect. So these right here on this row, those were mine when I was a kid. Pretty good shape. All those right there on that row. But yeah, those are all the super fast. And then over here, past the action figures, we've got even more cars. Those are all part of the Matchbox super fast collection. I call them super fast. I know not all of those are super fast. But up here, these are kind of cars that didn't really have a home that I really liked. They've just ended up here for the time being. I think we're going to change this out pretty soon. It's not the most stable thing. By the way, we are in California, so we do have earthquakes. This is not earthquake proof. Here's my customs, mostly customs. And they are starting to get piled up on each other. So not all of these are done. That CUDA there we're going to be working on pretty soon. And then some more super fast down here. So we are going to remove some of these super fast so they show up a little nicer. Down below, those are cars waiting for videos, and these are specialized series. So these will be videos that talk about different series of cars. They're all in there. And then over here, whoops, wrong place. Over here, wrong place. Over here, we've got some more in this drawer. So I don't even know what's in here right now, but we've got various cars that are waiting for videos, and there'll be notes in each of these bags that I've left. And I think down below is another full drawer. Yeah, there you go. And there's another full drawer of cars down here. Most of these are convention buys, so there's something a little bit more specific. And we get to these when we get to these. But they've all been researched, and the notes are in there for the videos. So, yeah, that's the collection that we've got here. By the way, there's a few more cars there in the closet, but I won't get into that. So that's our collection. Hope you liked the little tour here. And let me know if there's anything in any of those boxes you guys really want to see. If you saw any boxes labeled something interesting and you want to see a video in it, let me know. I don't mind doing videos in them. We'll dig through them and do a video for you. Even if it's just one of you and you just want a video, I'll do that for you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope to see what you guys have in your collection soon. Bye-bye.